It is the battle of the chrome liners, Madam Glam and Lilycute. Will they be on neutral ground, or is it a matter of good versus evil? Stick around and you'll find out. So I'm doing a set for a client, going to a Star Wars inspired wedding. Just going to do a simple French tip with this flash black glitter on the end. I'm going to add in a few stars in there and see how it all turns out. And as always, start off all my sets with a good prep tip and primer. Then we'll go in with this nude base coat color. I've got 2 coats of the yogurt gel, number 11. It's a really nice nude syrup gel. And now I'm going to go in and do some French tips with this beautiful black flash glitter. It's going to look fabulous. So just getting straight to work with this French tip here. I do find that when working with these flash glitters that they are pretty chunky, so you do have to be cautious when you're working with them on a tip that you're not getting it overly bulky. Even though I've used this particular black flash a number of times for doing French tips, it wasn't till the end of this set that I came to the conclusion I'd be a lot better off starting out with a solid black underneath, so I'm not struggling with those little glitter bits on the edges and having to do quite as much cleanup. So here I am 2 hours in, and I still hate French tips. So it's a very real struggle when you're someone like me who struggles with perfectionism and you're trying to work on something like a French tip, and the only thing I can try and do is make each one identical, and that's just not a thing. Like, it's just not a thing when you're doing nails. I mean, eventually with, years and years of doing specific certain designs, you would obviously get there where something like a French tip becomes second nature and you can just pop it right off. But if you're like me and you don't constantly do them daily, it is a true struggle because not matching is really not an option. I have to continuously redo it over and over and adjust it and tweak it and fix it, and I can't stop until they're as perfect as I feel that I can possibly make them. And that can take hours and hours and hours. So it's just not a very feasible thing. I'm doing these for somebody special, but typically French tips are not something that I do because of that, because I just cannot take the stress of trying to make them all match perfectly. And I don't know if my brain just doesn't quite see it that easily, but each line, each angle, where they start, where they end, how deep the curve is, all of that stuff is super hard to replicate from nail to nail to nail. Again, if it's not something that you do constantly, it takes so much time. So I'm in 2 hours on these nails and I'm getting there. This one is cured. So I'm going off of what I finished on this to try and replicate it precisely on the other set. And hopefully I'll get it done in the next half hour. So maybe my goal is a half hour. If I can pull off the last 3 nails in a half hour, I will be thrilled. But I'm not holding my breath. That's not typical for me. So it's not something that you guys want to sit and watch for hours on end. So I will cut again when I come back, and I am doing some stars on them. So I'm just hitting the 3-hour mark, and I have got both hands French tipped. I have done a little tiny bit of a second coat, try not bulk it up too much, but just to try and flesh out that tip so that it's got really nice coverage. Now I'm just going in with a base coat because there was, a rise with the tip. So I'm trying to flush it all out nice and just level that off really well so that when I go in with my star artwork, that it is going to have a smoother surface to work on. So I'm 3 hours, 20 minutes in, and what I'm going to do now is put some stars on here, And I have got 2 different chrome liner gel paints to try out. This one is Lily Cute that I got off of AliExpress for I think $2. This one is Madam Glam that I think is around $15. There is a difference in size, obviously. The Madam Glam is 8 mils and the Lily Cute is 5 mils. So quite a difference in bottle size and such for only 3 mils difference, but we'll see how they perform and if they're identical or not. Grabbing my Crystal Nails Short. This brush is super, super thin, as you can see. And just taking my dots and pulling out some stars. There, those pull out really, really nice and thin. Not too bad. Took me 15 minutes to do one. We'll see. Hopefully I'll get a little better as I go. So I got the first set all done with the stars. I'm really happy with that. They turned out quite nice. And I started on the second, not set, but the second hand, using the Madam Glam instead of the Lily Cute that I used on the other one. And you can see here in the little pile, this is the Lily Cute, this is the Madam Glam. The Madam Glam is much nicer. It has a much shinier chrome effect on it. It's just, yeah, like crisper and nicer. And you can see the difference here. I think, yeah, so it's just a much cleaner chrome line than the Lily Cute that has, you know, a little bit spotty there. So quite surprised. I thought that they would be pretty much identical. And while they are close, the Madam Glam is noticeably much shinier and just a cleaner chrome. That looks like molten, like liquid molten metal, whereas this one has a grittier kind of look to it. Sadly, I'm going to take this one off, finish it with the Lily Cute. And now that I can see that there will be a little bit of a difference to the look. So I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't try it the other way around first, or at least put it down on the palette and see if there was much of a difference before I started painting, because of course now I have to use the Lily Cute for the other hand and it doesn't look quite as nice, right? So you can see it there. And I'll put it down. It's a little more of a gunmetal look to it as opposed to that really super crisp chrome look. But alas, what can you do? So if you can believe it, I am 5 hours in, give or take, and I am finally ready to top coat. So let's get these babies top coated and finished. They turned out quite lovely. And as I say, I could probably trim a bit of that time if I'd have done just a black French tip first with a solid black and then gone over with the flash glitter. That would have made a difference. I wouldn't have had to fuss about with the sparkles, the glitter bits kind of spreading through the nail bed part as much. So lesson learned, finally. I've used these to do French tips quite a few times and never considered doing that. And now I have. So hopefully the next time around it won't be so frustrating. I'm really happy with how these turned out. So I'm going to try out a couple of accent nails. I just happen to have a Star Wars stamping plate. So I'm going to try a little something and see if it looks any good. All right, so I have added these cute little accent nails that if she decides she wants to wear, she can replace them, swap them out with her middle finger. I just thought that would be cute. The one that I was trying to do was the May the Force be with you, which would have been I think, more ideal word-wise, but the font was just too thick. It was just looking too thick and chunky, and it was just not delicate enough, not sweet enough. So hopefully these are going to be a smash for a Star Wars wedding. Hope you enjoyed that quickie there. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to love your nails. Bye!